Hey, everybody, good evening. It is 7 o'clock, and it's time for a program that you guys all love and adore. We know that. We're going to get going with it here momentarily, folks. Hi, everybody. Good evening. It is myself. It's Billy Reilly and Lisa Marie. We're your hosts for MoreJoy Media presents Food the Nova Food, Beverage, and Events Show. And Drink Naked is what Billy wants us all to do. He'll probably wear that shirt on our Love Hack show as well.
That's right. You got that right.
How are you, Billy?
I'm doing good, my man. Hey, listen, great show today with Pat Malone. Great meetings today. More joy on the move, baby. On the move.
We are on the move. Lisa, how are you doing out there? She's at the beach, everybody.
I'm at the beach. Look, see all the waves out here.
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
You're killing me. That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
One
of these
days, a little bit of Corona.
That's right. We're going to have a big MoreJoy spring break party. And just invite everybody, all the people who watch MoreJoy. Lisa's having a little bit of problem with the Nag's Head link out there. Keeps bouncing her off for some reason, but she'll always be popped back on. Hey, Billy, tell us about our guest tonight, buddy. Who do we got?
Well, I'll tell you what. Every week since we started this show, the thought process gets a little more difficult. All of these people are people that have been either close to, directly involved, or people throughout my career that I've been involved with. And one of them is sort of secondary to that. He's going to tell a great story. His name is Dempsey Hamilton. And I first knew about Dempsey through the Kennedy Center, where he spent many, many years as production manager. He ran all the stages. Everything you saw happening there went through him and his team. And my contact was the gentleman that ran the Kennedy Center. And when he put two and two together that we were doing stuff, I didn't have any choice.
Right here, and then send it to Mike.
I didn't have any choice but to do whatever Dempsey Hamilton needed. And when he opened a record store in Fairfax City called Mobius, he's been a huge hit. He's fabulous downtown, and he's doing really great things. And I can't wait to get him on. Great stories.
Well, the owner of Mobius Records, ladies and gentlemen, Dempsey Hamilton. Dempsey, how are you, man?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, guys.
Hey, it's absolutely a pleasure. Before we get started, let's go ahead and bring Chris in too. Billy, tell me about this guy.
So Chris Sellars, is an old school. Like I use that word not loosely, but directly, because you have new entrepreneurs in the restaurant business, and God knows they're going to have to get creative with everything that's going on with the sea. And you've got people that are in the business that just are old souls. They get it. It's a handshake. It's a yes ma'am, no ma'am. It's what do we need to do to get busy? And when this stuff hit in March, he was one of my first phone calls. What do you got going on? And he was like, man, I have no idea, but we're going to hit the ground running and do what we need to do. Right. And that's Chris Sellars from Manassas, Virginia. He's got 3 or 4 places. He's involved in all kinds of things with the city. And, and in my career through the blues business and bartending, he's always been on the higher end of fabulous. So, Chris Sellars.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Hey, it's an absolute pleasure. Before we get started, though, I just got to drop a name. Dempsey, Joe St. Germain.
What's that?
Do you know Joe St. Germain? He is a set painter at the Kennedy Center.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, I didn't know if you might know him or not. He was there for many years.
Yeah. Huh? It sounds familiar, but it's not.
Yeah. No, he's master painter, all that kind of stuff. Right anyway, on. I just wanted to see if you knew him.
That's cool.
Because he was been with the Kennedy Center for 30 some years or something like. He's retired now, but
okay.
Yeah, and he's been for a little while, but he's got a place over at Workhouse of Arts. That's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to see if you knew Joe, see if we had a connection there.
There you go.
Yeah. So let's start with you, Dempsey. Mobius, what got you started with Mobius Records? What made you feel like, I mean, obviously there's a love for music. You wouldn't be doing it if you didn't have a love for music, but what kind of pushed you into doing that?
Right out of high school, I got into the music business. I started working in bars and then basically got into doing sound at 19, 20 years old. And from there, I continued on a career for a long time with that. I worked at the State Theater for probably close to a decade, all sorts of other places before I hit the Kennedy Center. But through those years, I toured a lot with bands. And the only solace that I got was after sound check, finding the local record store and getting away and zenning out for a little while, just flipping through records. So I'd say it's never been not part of my life.
Yeah.
But I think probably towards 2004 to 2007, it started to become a huge part of my life. And then once I started having kids and decided I wanted to get off the road, I got my job at the Kennedy Center, which was fantastic. But I kept having that longing for that zen, that constant like escapism of music. And so I was 39 at the time and said, if I'm going to do this, might as well try it now before I regret it many years later. So I cashed in. I 2 weeks after having the idea, I had a lease, and I'd never even worked retail in my life.
And I also don't think it hurt that, DVDs, CDs, cassettes, all like everything in life. Chris Sellars will be able to attest to this, Lisa, that, the throwback to vinyl was a huge move halfway into 2000s. And that just exploded. My 18-year-old will not buy a CD or a so I'm in to see Dempsey 2 or 3 times a month, and I'm like, give me the Queen, give me the Rush, give me but that's all my son wants, and that's the new norm, and I'm so happy that pivoted that way for him.
Well, I want to know who here has a record player.
Me, I got one.
My
daughter does.
I'm intrigued to get one now.
I know, me too. Yeah, I used to have the big Newmark DJ tables, and I used to DJ quite a bit. Now everything's right here on my laptop. I don't need. I got everything on my laptop, but I do like beat mixing.
Facebook. Yeah, he's listening all the time on vinyl. He's Korn, Metallica. He's got all the old vinyls, and I'm kind of like, I'm jealous. But again, at 42 years old, I wouldn't even know where to start shopping for records until today. So
now you know.
Now I'm kind of excited. Can I buy a player down there at the shop as well?
Yeah, we sell 3 tiers: entry level, mid level, kind of your higher end. So
I'm gonna go with entry.
Yeah, I mean, it's an easy way to do it. Yeah,
I mean, that's really all you need. You just need the entry level.
Hey, Chris, there's an on button. There's a little thing that comes off this lever, and then it goes right over onto the record, and it goes, and then it goes. I
lost you at your T-shirt that says "Drink Naked."
That's right.
I'll have to get you one of my T-shirts from North Carolina. Biscuits and porn.
There you go.
That's right, dude. That'll fit perfect too.
What is it? Biscuits and porn?
Biscuits and porn. Milepost 10.
Yeah, man.
That's one of my I used to have another radio show years ago, and it was called the OHB show, out of his butt, because I just pulled out information and songs from everywhere, which is what my radio station is. It's a little bit of everything. And anyway, favorite intro music that I played was Rubber Biscuit by the Blues Brothers. And I just dig that song so much. It's such a great classic song. And so when you said that biscuit's important, Rubber Biscuit. Anyway, yeah, good stuff. There's Lisa back. Okay, good. You're back. Okay. So Lisa has a record player. Billy has one. Dempsey has one. And Lee and Chris are getting one. So that sounds good.
I'll tell you. And what I enjoy a lot about the store too, is you get, it's across the board. Like, I'm just really pissed off. I mean, I have about 800 albums. I've got a large collection. And a lot of those are crossovers. Like, Dempsey would be very jealous if I brought in all 9 original Kiss albums plus the 4 solo albums that are still Saran. I have not opened them, and I have no idea what they're worth, but I know they've got game.
Okay, Billy.
Yeah,
That's was my favorite band. So
well, I
think
everybody's got to start on that. So
yeah.
Plus, I did live concerts in my basement, for God's sake. Did Paul Stanley rocks. So at the end of the day, I like watching the store because you got your people come in and I have no idea what they're talking about. Dude, I want the tall green grass dudes with the side blade haircuts, and I'm like, what the hell is that? But those guys know. And then I'm like, dude, let me get that Johnny Cash backflip right over there and whatever else. And it's still $300 to walk out the store. It's amazing. But he's really anchored in an older city that was committed to rebirth and some new things. And it doesn't get any cooler than an old rock and roller that did Kennedy Center sound that opens up a record store. I mean, how cool is that?
That's right. Listen, so let's jump to Chris. Chris, you got 2 places. What's been your impetus to number one? As
did you just call him impotent?
No, impetus.
Oh.
I didn't say why.
Maybe that's bad Mike. I'm sorry, bad Mike.
It's just a word you're used to. That's all. So Chris.
I told you guys this is coming.
This is coming, man. We're having a good time. Hey, so you mentioned to me off air when we were talking, you weren't even sure you're going to be able to, open back up one or both of your shops, one of your, not shops, but you know what I mean, restaurants. How's everything going for you? Are you guys kind of getting back level, or are you still behind, but not so far behind that you got to shut things down?
So, I mean, right now we're going on about the 4th month. In my opinion, this all started on March 12th. I mean, the first 8 weeks, complete nightmare. Nobody had any answers. Nobody knew what was going on. As a entrepreneur and a private business owner, you don't have many people to turn to. I mean, you have yourself. I'm sure Dempsey dealt with the same thing. I mean, you're looking to your local governments, you're looking to your local politicians, you're looking to everybody to kind of steer you in the right direction. Even your accountant didn't know which way to direct you. So,
right.
You really sat down. You kind of took you processed everything you were hearing from the news, from doctor friends, from neighbors, family members. And we just sat down, and I mean, between my management teams and myself, I mean, we hit the ground running. I mean, we just said, look, we can't afford to go home. It gave us a great opportunity to sit down and actually assess what it costs us to run these restaurants per month, because you have so many operating costs going through and so many invoices going out a day that, you kind of lose track of what it costs to actually run it per month. So we got a baseline right there, knew where our baseline was, and then we knew we just had to grow from there.
Dude, I had no idea that girl in the kitchen made $12 an hour. What do you mean? Are you kidding me? And the tamale dude is making $15 and takes off on Saturdays.
Dishwashers in my restaurant start out at $12 an hour.
Yeah.
So we, after about the first 8 weeks, we implemented delivery. We had never once thought about it. We never decided on it. We ended up going to the carry-out side of it. We had to recreate. Sorry about the train. We had to recreate the carry-out game. Yeah, the VRE's on time. So we had to recreate our go game. You know, we might have been doing $500 to $1,000 a month in carry-out, and all of a sudden we had to flip the script, and we did about $80,000 in our first month in carry-out and delivery alone.
Wow.
So that came with a lot of materials. You know, when you originally when you had a restaurant, you know, you had plates and silverware and glasses and all that stuff was all being used. Now everything's disposable. Everything needs to be thrown away. So, you know, now you're chasing dudes on the back of a truck at 3 o'clock in the morning trying to find cups, go boxes, and so
I called
interesting people at 3 and 4 in the morning, say the least. So
I called.
We're doing well. We hit the plateau. We've now exceeded. We're back. We're well above our original numbers. We're grateful for it. It's our community, man. It's
that's what I was going to ask. Yeah,
my families, my community members. It's Lisa. It's Billy. So I mean, it's those guys that keep me going.
Well, cool. When Chris first segmented in, I obviously checked in right away with, what I consider my guys. I call and say, dude, because, and I remember the first phone call to Chris. He's like, I got no fucking idea, bro. I'm like, dude, you will figure it out because you're a grinder. They grind. And all of the grinders out there, the people that they get it. He's got a young family. He's got it's like, dude, it's either starve or get in it. And he hit on something key also, that the city of Manassas, from the mayor on down, they all got it. EDA got it, and everybody. Then there's the Manassas Strong, and then there's the Doug Thomases with the shirts, and all the people that I just watched it explode. They were leaps and bounds in front of Fairfax City and Vienna, and it all came together. When I knew it hit home for me, Dempsey, you'll love this. I called him up one day and I said, dude, did I just read what I thought? Because I told him to tag me on everything. So everything he went to my pages also, which I had no problem with him. And I said, did I just read what's going on for Easter? He goes, do you love it? I said, do I love it? I never even heard of it. They went out to the community and said, for $20, we will come. We will bring you some food. We will hide the Easter eggs and the shit for the kids. And you can, dude, they're out until 4 a.m. in the community hiding eggs for people.
Yeah,
I thought I'd heard everything.
Let me jump on that one real quick. So that project started out with there was a couple of people. A friend of mine, Dalton Chatham, with Performance Food Group, had leaned me on to IHOP. Had been contracted to like 1 million eggs per every 6 months, and when Corona hit, there's a lot of eggs sitting around. So I was buying 30 dozen eggs for like $15. So I said, all right, I got meat on eggs. Went to the dollar store, bought every basket in Northern Virginia. And then some of the girls here at the restaurant said they wanted to participate. Well, I was just going to start out with like 30 baskets and, do a dozen eggs, drop them off after dark. I made the post online. I said, look, if you see a 6-foot bunny running through your backyard at night, don't shoot. So,
and it's not Ray Gizmo Ward.
No, well, Ray was out there.
I know. I heard.
Was out there.
I heard.
So we had about 19. I believe it was 19 or 20 volunteers that were out delivering them. So the fact that we didn't have a lawsuit of a gunshot. We were all running here, hopping around the yard, and we ended up doing 250 families, 250 children.
250 children.
Awesome.
Around the time during the Corona pandemic that moms couldn't get out. There was no eggs on the shelves.
Right.
Moms couldn't get.
So did you guys color all the eggs?
Dude, whoa.
Wow.
The dude that saved Easter. There he is, right there.
There he is. Yeah, we have my dad and I have a company called Daily Talent that we do Santa Clauses mostly. Yeah, you can see the
look at that.
Hey,
shocker.
and I'm calling both you guys.
What a shock.
But anyway, we do Santa's. Obviously, this year's is up in the air. Who the hell knows what's going on? But we also have an Easter bunny costume that my daughter loves to wear. And for Easter in our neighborhood, we did a canned food drive, and my daughter jumped up in the back of a neighbor's pickup truck with her Easter bunny outfit. We told the moms group on Facebook that's what we were going to drive through the neighborhood. Man, we picked up a truckload of canned goods there on the Saturday before Easter, and just my daughter driving around, waving at the kids out on the front, kind of like when the fire truck comes by with Santa, and just waving at everyone. The kids were just beside themselves, and it was such a great thing. So I'm really happy to hear what you did, Chris.
That's cool.
Thank you. Easter's a good. It's a fun time kids look forward to, and it was.
They do.
And there's a lot out really good
to get those things for them. And during the Corona and this pandemic, it's been amazing how many people are willing to volunteer their time. They're willing to give. I mean, and a lot of people don't have anything to give right now. They should be receiving, and they're willing to give their time.
Right. It's good to see it all for sure.
Yeah, I think the big thing that's going to be coming up with a lot of parents, and I mean, I think we're all seeing it in the fall, is, what's mom and dad going to do when kids aren't going to school and, they got to go to work, I mean, they may work for Dempsey, they may work for me, local business owners may be able to help and be flexible with their schedules, but, what happens when big corporate daddy comes in and says, hey, look, I'm sorry, I mean, you got to work, I mean, for the kid that works at Target, has got 2 kids, I mean, how do they go to work, and, They can't Zoom from Target. They can't work. You gotta be on aisle 5.
That's one of my favorite
memes. Be an interesting fall.
That's one of my favorite memes that's out there, and it says, "Look at our leaders 20 years from now. Those are your kids that were homeschooled by the drinking moms and dads."
Well, that was sort of like when we had the Black Lives Matter. When they did their thing down here. I gave compliments to a lot of the parents. I said, these are your children out here today. And I said they were all well behaved. They all came down here with
that's what I heard.
The correct attitude and the correct way to make a message, and they did it. They didn't tear up my town, our town, my family's town, my community.
We had the same thing in Fairfax City. It was completely awesome.
Right.
Yeah,
everybody
was I do think some parents need a little pat on the back, say, hey man, you did good,
Yeah.
Well, I think also, Chris, you had some not so good things up 234 on the other end of town at the beginning of the night. And I think the next night when it was planned, because I know where I was, it shall remain nameless. And I know what 12 gauge I had in my hand at one of those stores downtown. I think the word got out that nobody was coming down to the south part of Manassas at all that night.
At the same time, too, I mean, anytime that you do a protest or a rally or anything like that, it's in the evening. I mean, you get bad people that want to come out.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that was
keep the demonstrations to the early evenings, to the daytimes. And I mean, I was happy to see it down here. I was happy to see them be able, because I mean, it's my generation never really had something they stood for. I mean, it's unfortunate what we're going through, but it was impressive to see these kids, voicing their opinions and doing it correctly.
So Dempsey, when I was like I said, when I first got the message, and if you watch The Sopranos or you watch Goodfellas, you think I'm kidding. Dempsey can confirm this.
Totally.
Here's how it sounds. Hey, Billy. Yeah, it's Mickey. What's going on, buddy? He goes, yeah, you got my guy in Fairfax City now. I think he's getting into the vinyl thing. I said, okay, because that's my guy. Okay, I don't want any issues with my guy. If he calls you, we need to get this taken care of. I want it done tomorrow.
Yeah.
You hear me? I'll be in touch. Click. Like I had to walk in his store, ask him. I said, hey, I'm just letting you know, I'll sweep floors if you need it. I got the call from Mickey Pera.
That's right.
Tell us a little bit of some of the history there, Dempsey, of, just some great moments in your time. I mean, you've seen it all there, and, fabulous things have happened at that place.
Yeah, I mean, my main job there was running the Millennium Stage, which is a free concert every night, 365 days a year, and it's simulcast for an hour. So it's a televised event or whatever, streamed event. So it was always a lot of pressure. But my department, we ran the stage also the ushers, everything. I mean, we were in charge of the whole thing. So
Wow.
So Mickey being Mickey, was the biggest presence that you could possibly imagine. I mean, there was nobody who even stood as tall as he did. Applause for the train.
Sorry, I'll just mute Chris. It's okay. We'll mute him and wait for the train to go by.
No, the train's great.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But I mean, Mickey seriously was larger than life, always. I mean, walking through the halls, he always had some story that went along with whatever sentence he was trying to tell you. Or there was some parable there that you would be like, what the hell, man? Like, how is this guy on it all the time?
I met him when I was 18 years old. And from the time I met him to everything I would do, I never had an issue in DC.
Yeah.
Ever. And anytime I ran into somebody else, I've done a lot of work with, like Dan Aykroyd and Morgan Freeman and probably every country star from 92 to 05.
Sure.
And all of the things that I did, never less than one time. Specifically Taylor Swift one time. I was like, I was doing some work for Kenny Chesney at the time. And she's like, you're in DC? And I'm like, yeah. So she goes, yeah. I was at the Kenny Chesney. Yeah. Can you talk to my guy, Mickey? I'm like, are you kidding me? Of course I talked to Mickey. So the guy's a legend. His brother ran Ford's Theater. And I took Jim Cook in there, the old Sam Adams guy, Chris knows. And not the old guy, the guy that owns it. And, we went there, and you get to go in the back halls where nobody else goes. And then, we got into the room, and Mickey's brother says, hey, sit in the chair. And we're like, Jim Cook's like, what? He goes, yeah, sit in the chair. I said, hey, Reilly, you got your gun? So we'll make the whole thing real for you. And Reilly, when he jumps off the stage, hopefully he won't break his leg. And I mean, it was those kind of things that those two brothers and the things created, and just legendary stuff. I mean, those are true stories. So.
And I mean, in his span of being at the Kennedy Center, I'm seriously like a blip. I was there for a short period of time in relative, his career there. Yeah. But I mean, he is revered. There's nobody there
worldwide. Worldwide.
Just a huge presence. Every time I saw him walking down the hall, he was chit-chatting with everybody, had some funny story about something.
Come on. The president's coming in tonight. I'm going to say, I'll meet you over at Watergate. I'll meet you at Watergate. The chef will have a table for us. Bring me a cigar. Tell Minnick and the rest of the guys we're heading over there. I'll see you soon. Get out of here. Go on. Yeah, unbelievable. So
amazing guy.
We've been I think all four of us that are sitting on this show right now, and I'm sorry Lisa's been having some trouble because she's certainly the best part of the five of us.
No doubt.
She's not difficult to look at, is she, Chris?
I mean, I'm a strong 6.
I was so excited when I told Lee on Friday that I was talking to you guys and that this was coming about, and I hold both you guys to this this high regard, and I watched Chris also. Something he hadn't touched on, but he kind of has gone around it. Chris is a part of a group of men and women that came up a certain way, did a few things. And you hear people talk all the time. It's just a new generation in the restaurant business. But I've never walked in, not one time, and not have him come rushing out of the back or have his managers come out of the back, shaking my hand. What's going on? How are you doing? What's up? And not one time that I didn't go down there. I'm in there once, twice a month. I would pop in, and there's restaurant people. There's a bar. Yeah. There are other owners. There are people. There's a reason for that. And lastly, when it comes to Chris Sellars, I did an event, an MMA event, and I do them all the time with our good friend Candy Wild, Jeff Wild, and Kate Zilla. And it's fabulous. It's a fabulous show. Sold out all the time. And we're working one night, and I'm helping the food guy do something. And the show ends, and I'm looking for the breakdown teams and whatever else. And who comes running in the back door carrying a cart? It's Chris Sellars, and one of his other partners, from Xandra's, Miguel Pierres. And those guys are loading. They're loading the stuff up. That's grinding to me, dude. That's all you got to do in this life for me to have my respect. And I looked at him and was amazed. So
people ask me all the time, am I an owner or a dishwasher? And I'd probably say 90% of the time I'm more of a dishwasher and a busboy than I am the owner. But speak back to Dempsey and Billy in their old school days. The reality was I actually got my start really where I got my feet wet in the bar business. I've been in this industry for now almost 29 years straight. I've never done anything else. I've never mowed a lawn, never
Still
worked
a baby. Still a baby.
baby. But my days started right before I got out of high school. I was working at the Bayou.
Oh, really?
And
Wow.
I was friends with a guy named John Boyle.
Yep. Chachi. We all know Chachi.
John, believe it or not, John was my roommate back in '96.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So,
the last time I saw him,
charges and all this other stuff, and being Playboy Playmates of the Year and all that. But yeah, I started out at the Bayou, and I was bar backing, and I remember going up 66 eastbound, and the sun was going down, and everybody's coming home from work, and then I'd be coming home 66 westbound, and everybody's going to work, and I'm coming home from work. So, and I think at that time I started realizing how much I love this industry. So, it wasn't an office. It wasn't, it wasn't the same scenario every day, man. It was just wild. I got to see all the rock bands, and, I got to see all the local artists at the time. I remember bands like Puddle Duck, Mr. Green Jeans, all those guys. I was sitting there.
All those guys are on Dempsey's secondary shelf.
We were sitting there watching the band jam out one night, and I was sitting there behind the bar, and there's this big, heavy 400-pound guy sitting in there, and you just hear, wah, 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 wah. And it's John Popper.
Right.
Oh, wow.
There and just bust out in the middle of the crowd and said, hey, I'm in town for a couple of days. Can I sit in on your set? And they jumped up, and they just jammed all night. So it was the
family that owned the Bayou, now was one of Marty's gang. Okay, they all own the Italian stores.
And
Tremonti. So the Tremontis.
I grew up with Mike Tremonti. The youngest was my better friend growing up.
Wow,
Neighborhood,
small, tiny world.
Yeah,
and as all that comes together, these are the people that we run to do things. Twisting back to Dempsey also has the record store right next to this little neighborhood goods. It's like called Commonwealth Goods. Goods. Commonwealth Dry Goods. It's like they do candles,
mainly Virginia related North Carolina products.
66 chips from down the street and all that stuff.
But
it doesn't hurt that it's owned by. Doesn't hurt that it's not owned by Chad Dukes and the rest of the gang. So he's got that going right next to him. There's a live music venue opening right around the corner. They got the hottest haircut place, the Standard, right there. And when Dempsey's not at the record store, he's part-time on American Chopper. I've been watching him all week on that thing. Dude, I had to look at it 5 times. I was like, he never told me. I'm like, the dude's your brother. He's
I haven't seen it yet.
You're going to look at it and say, Reilly's not off on this one.
Dempsey, what street are you on?
But he's off an awful lot of time.
What street are you on?
We're on Main Street, just right downtown, Old Town Fairfax.
Right by where Icons used to be, which is the new music joint.
Yeah.
Icons?
Right.
But it's up by that parking space across from where there used to be a gas station, the Shell station.
That's right.
It was right there on the corner. Now it's all big
you just come right
building.
into town, like Main Street.
Yeah.
You come down, you pass the gas station, Chris, and then penny pincher coins, and it's right in that little alcove. Right there. Right there.
Yeah.
So
I'll find out.
You just tell me when you're coming to town, bro.
Let me know.
I'll buy you some lunch.
Oh, I'm down that way all the time. So
cool.
Well,
check it out.
Holler at us. We'd love to do it. Billy and I went to Velocity Wings today for a little business meeting because it's local, it's close, and everything like that. They got a great venue over there. That guy, Billy, talking about Chris and grinding and stuff like that. I left my folder on the bar. He calls me because I gave him my card, thank God. Give him my card, so he had my number. He calls me, says, hey, you left your thing here. And I was like, oh, crap. So I drove back up there. As I pulled in the parking space, he comes running out of the place with the folder. I didn't have to go in there. He came out. He goes, Lily, here you go. I'm like,
you're talking about another old school guy, Jimmy Spiros, and Jimmy Spiros owns, 14 places now. He and his partners are doing really great. All the Velocity Wings, the social houses, all of those things. And Jimmy gets that from one of my first clients. Those were his parents up in Rockville, Maryland, who owned a diner restaurant thing. And they would go in and he would scream at me in Greek. And young Jimmy would come running in because he was the strength coach for the Redskins in the early 80s. And there they are. And that's, I'm like Forrest Gump. I've been lucky in the process. I run into all these maniacs sideways one way. And
just as bright.
It's been a great journey. Hey, I might not be a smart man, but I do know what love is.
I know what love is. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what's so Chris, what is your prediction moving forward?
Yeah.
I mean, Virginia's spiking again. What are your thoughts? It's August, which is the dull day of August. What are your thoughts for give me a 2-month rest of the year prediction?
Good luck.
In my honest opinion, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, it's we saw what happened with Hampton Roads a couple weeks ago with the governor setting them back. Northern Virginia dealt with that in the beginning of phase 1. The rest of the state was jumping into phase 2 and 3. We're still sitting in phase 1.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's more testing facilities and stuff like that now. There's more ways for them to get the results and stuff like that. So I mean, the numbers are all over the place.
Yeah.
And we have the election coming up in November. So I mean, that's adding to stuff. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. And I can't speak for Dempsey's retail business and stuff, but with the restaurant world, I mean, people are going to eat, but I mean, it's just a matter of right now how they're eating. So I mean, it's a matter of if they're coming in, they're doing curbside pickup, they're doing delivery. If they're calling it in, doing the online ordering. I mean, like I said, I had to reinvent my entire business model. Everything I knew that I learned from the City Tavern for 15 years. I mean, I was with everybody gets started with the Greeks, okay? So, if you didn't start with a Greek, you're not in the long run.
I thought my whole being, and I'm an Irish kid. I thought my name was Malaka for years. Yeah, and then if I wasn't moving the other way, it was Gamano Bane Yestu. Pusti. Malaka Pusti Gamoto. I was like, oh my God, he loves me.
I've talked to a lot of friends in the industry and stuff like that, in DC, Arlington, and everything like that, and trying to kind of gauge where they're at. I honestly, I don't think this is really we're gonna see a normalcy, to say the least, until March or April, the next spring. I mean, even with the fall coming around the corner, I mean, it's inevitable. Kids get the flu. I mean, I have a 6-year-old, and a 2.5-year-old. I mean, the first day of school, they come home, picking their nose, blowing snot rockets. And, so that's going to be something we're going to deal with. I know we're on the live show here, but normally I call them crib lizards.
Nice.
I think March and April is going to be the time where we're going to see a little bit of normalcy. I mean, I think we're seeing a little bit now. I mean, like my restaurants have all got 6 foot distancing between the tables. I've got a Ruby Tuesday snot guard around CJ Finz's bar, so we can so my bartenders feel a little safer. We've got all the signs up for masks. Some people refuse to wear the masks, and I mean,
why? I don't get that.
I don't get it.
I don't get it. I mean, it's so easy to just keep it right here in your pocket, or what's that? Have it logoed.
There you go.
So but people, and they walk in and they forget, and but there are some people. I mean, I'll tell you, they just are not coming out. They're still staying home. Our delivery numbers and our carryout numbers still tell me that they're at home. Yeah. But the limited tables we have, they're full. I mean, they're full 24/7, and then the carryout and delivery. It's cool though, because I've also been able to give a bunch of high school kids a job where otherwise I wouldn't be able to give them a job. So they're just cruising around town, their little mommy's, daddy's new car.
So you have your own delivery. You're not using DoorDash or anything.
Yeah, he uses all that too. Don't you use all the DoorDash and Grubhub?
Do you use DoorDash and Uber Eats and all that stuff too?
I'm using DoorDash.
Of course he does.
I'm using DoorDash, but it's we used it in the beginning to be a platform to help us kind of get the delivery thing off, but we also do our own delivery through cjfinz.com. DoorDash takes 30%.
He always does. He also does. He's doing his own delivery through ChrisSellars.com because if nobody else is doing it, he's delivering it. I'm like, Chris, what's going on? He goes, I gotta go. I got 4 deliveries.
For 8 weeks, I was delivering all the food. I mean, I was pulling up my big old V8 Sierra, just dropping off crab legs at midnight. So we still offer delivery, full delivery until 12:30.
Dude, what's up with the buffalo wings?
Delicious.
I gotta have an order of buffalo wings right now.
Yeah. So I mean, that's it, man. I mean, full menu. We're on the DoorDash, but again, that's one forum. The other forum is go to our website. Click. We deliver from Manassas all the way to Haymarket, Centerville. We're out there, man.
Yeah, that's what.
At the same time, too, we're just trying to keep our community safe, man. We're trying to keep all the door handles wiped down. We're trying to keep all the employees got their masks on. Clean. We sanitize the whole joint at the end of the night. We break down the bathrooms. Once every couple hours. It's an ordeal, man. It's a whole.
Yeah,
I mean,
no doubt.
You get it, man. All your counters,
everything.
Yeah,
so
you gotta get
I mean, if a kid touches an album, you got to go by wipe it down.
Dempsey, what's next for you guys?
Well, I mean, much like Chris, we had to reinvent the wheel come March. So we had existed online, but it was like, maybe 5 to 8% of our sales were just rarities that we would put on a site called Discogs, which is like eBay.
Right.
And so once COVID hit and we were at home trying to figure out how we're going to operate, we basically took our entire inventory and started cataloging it on this site. So now we've got, up to 3,000 records on there. And I had to hire somebody to completely,
of course you did,
focus on shipping. So my office got converted into a shipping center at the shop. Right. So now we're shipping, and now we're back to our normal day to day.
Right.
Although we're still at reduced hours because we're just trying to figure out how to do this.
Which isn't too bad, because if you're doing the same numbers at
exactly.
a little bit of reduced hours, then it's good. I'm as an old bartender Hall of Famer, and I'm not a glory days guy. I think I did my bones. I think I worked hard. I made a name.
Sure.
I raised a lot of money for charity. I had a good run, and I just think those days are. I've got bartenders now. That's all they know. And I'm like, dude, get used to, hey, clean up on aisle 4. You better get your ass to Walmart and get a gig, get some insurance, and do that. So I'm shipping people all over the place. I mean, you got to get back into doing something. Paycheck's a check. Don't be so arrogant that those $700 nights are gone for a while, dude.
Yeah,
you got it's $700 a week now, and you're cleaning up kids' puke on aisle 2. Get busy.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll tell you, one of the great things out of this was our credit card tips. Instead of giving the servers to them, nightly, we were now giving them to once a week. So, which gave me the ability. I've always offered health insurance with the restaurant, but now with them having their credit card tips run through payroll, I'm now actually able to collect the money, because I'll give them $150 credit every payroll towards health insurance.
That sounds like a Miguel. That sounds like
health insurance.
Sounds like a Xander's plan.
There has been some silver lining out of this.
There definitely has for us too. I mean,
is that a Xander's plan, Chris?
What's that?
Go ahead,
no, Billy said it sounds like a Xander's plan.
It sounds like a Xander's plan. I know where you got that.
Yeah, it's just I think the whole adaptability of everything and trying to figure out what the next move is and trying to stay on top of things with the unpredictability of everything. And I mean, the only solace in this is we're all going through the same thing. Yep. So I know that my struggle and my stress is felt by every other industry that's out there. I mean, I come from the music industry where 85% of my friends have no work, no nothing. It wasn't until the third installment of the loans that they even let 1099s in. So, I mean, my buddy I've been in a band with for 10 years. He's out with Muse doing, getting 6 figures for the last number of years. He's getting $150 a week. And it's like, what the hell?
I haven't even gotten that as a 1099. I got my staff taken care of. Yeah, there was no PPP. I've got 2 employees. But if it wasn't for Lee Bailey feeding me, I was in trouble.
But everybody I toured with over the years and all my friends who are still engineers or anything, I mean, even the Kennedy Center shut down. Like, I mean, there's no light at the end of the tunnel for that.
If you're not Kenny Chesney or Bruce Springsteen or one of those guys, because his whole staff is still getting paid. I know them all. Yeah, I was with them on the road for 3 years. So, all Kenny's people, even the rum side, everybody's getting paid. But, a lot of my phone calls from people in my process the last 6 months are, Billy, man, Tracy Lawrence, Travis Tritt, all my guys from the 90s and 2000s. They're like, dude, I'll play for 500 and give me a hotel room. I just need to eat, I'm like, and so I'm, kind of shopping that around a little bit.
Yeah.
You got to worry about everybody. Everybody needs to make phone calls and check on people and see what's up. And like Chris said, spread it around and make sure everybody's involved.
Do you do live music, Chris, at either one of your places?
We do over at Public House on Friday and Saturday nights. Old Town itself, Old Town Manassas is full of live music. You've got them in the streets. Our cousins with Sinistral Brewing Company, they've got bands over there on Main Street. We've got them on Battle Street. Nothing on West. Then we got the Harris Pavilion where they've always got, big bands over there, stuff like that. But they're like Jimmy Buffett cover bands, Beatles cover bands. I think they have the Navy band over there once or twice during the summer. So, hey, Dempsey, let me ask you a question. So, like a lot of those guys who are like production guys, I mean, they were always under unions, weren't they?
Not all. I mean, I never joined the union myself. And
are those unions possibly taking care of some of those guys during this?
I would say so, because I think 22 is all a Kennedy Center. So I'm assuming that those guys have something going on with pensions that they've been buying into for a number of years. But I mean, it's really the freelancers who are the majority of touring artists and engineers that are out there. There's no plan. I
can't imagine when you're going to see 30,000 people inside of a one venue again. I mean, we talk about normalcy back in April, but I mean,
not this year. Yeah, but I find this interesting too, and I'm not opening up any can of worms, and I'm not gonna, distrink my position or question anybody else's. But a good friend of mine, Chase Rice, mid-level country guy, 3 or 4 number 1 hits, played a big giant show in Gatlin, Tennessee, at an old prison up on a mountain, and he got viscerized. I mean, he got destroyed, and not one case came out of that. Now you got 140,000 people in Sturgis right now doing this thing. They're getting viscerized, and you know what? You better hope that they get 30 or 40 cases out of that. I mean, who knows kind of what's going on with this whole thing? And I'm telling you, I think that if it goes one way, November 4th is going to be this, and if it goes the other way, I think November 4th is going to be that. And I just think that there's obviously an issue. 154,000 people dead. It's an issue. Definitely. And it's horrible, and you got to take care of your family and your kids. And if you've got elderly parents, I get every bit of it. But I just don't know how much overall in this is they just hate this fucking guy so much that we're going to do this. I don't know.
Go ahead.
What I was going to say was, I've been doing this, as Billy knows, and maybe you guys don't know. I had a double lung transplant a year ago. And so I've been doing, so I'm one of the at-risk, just like Billy is. Yeah. Double lung. Right. Yeah. And so I've been doing, you guys talking about the mask having in your pocket. I just have my mask right here. I wear it around my neck and I just pull it up as a face shield. And you notice there's no difference in sound. I don't sound any different than if I have it up or down. But I've got a bunch of these, and this is what I wear because I can just wear it around my neck, and no one, thankfully I have big neck and it hangs over my.
The problem is, Lee, your voice is really silent. It needs a little bit of bass improvement, and if you work a little bit of your enunciation, I might even get you onto the radio a little bit. I think we can do that. You freaking knucklehead. Anyway, Lee.
Right. I know, but you know what I mean.
Lee hit the nail on the head. I have asthma. I'm at risk. I have all of that. I signed on, Chris, you'll love this. I signed on to a program at Innova in February. They said, dude, this is coming. And I said, what do you need from me? And we'd like you to do this, and this. I said, why don't you give me that, and that also? If I get this, it's probably not going to go well for me. Why don't you can test me, whatever. I've had a good run. Chris Sellars will tell you I've left nothing on the table. So I think that I'm not regretting anything at this point. I'll miss my kids, and I'll miss Dempsey's records and Chris's shrimp. So I just think that I signed a 5-page document. You give everything you won't give to the bad monkey and the horse. I'll take it. So March was ugly. April was a little ugly. And then the third week, April, I went in for my blood. They take blood twice a month and you get a lung treatment. And the doctor looked at me and said, dude, wear a mask if there's more than 20 people in a room and wash your hands and get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
That was it.
Get out of the hospital.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And it's been the same meeting every 2 weeks. Hey, wash your hands.
And I mean,
and keep a mask on. Get the fuck out of here.
So Billy Lee, for guys like you, here's the thing: stay home.
Yeah.
Stay home.
No.
Myself, here's the thing.
Does that sound like something's going to work?
Well, I'll bring you the CJ Finz experience at home.
Oh, man, I love that.
Thank you, bro.
You know what?
I appreciate that.
Even allow me to bring you a Jack and Coke. What do you run these days, Billy? What am I delivering?
Oh, dude, that's you know what? I'm kind of taking a break from that, so I'm across the board.
You got drink naked on you there, so that's
hey, Chris, you know what he's drinking? Sangrias.
Yeah,
sangria. I'm telling the world, Billy Reilly's drinking sangria.
Oh my god, dude! I drink a pina colada if I had to too. I just think that
we'll deliver it.
And as long as I can listen to one of those albums and sit back and say, you know what? Hey, give me that old Pina Colada song album, Rupert Holmes. Is that on the 30? But it's probably on the $30 rack. I'd have to get that special order.
It's on the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack.
You guys stay home until this thing is blown over.
Well, I'll tell you.
Same
Chris,
time you guys need dinner. You got to eat.
That's right. Chris, I'm not grinding.
Guys like us that are still out there, we got to be doing our part, man. Widen down handles, keeping our masks on.
Yeah.
Turn your head and cough. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I have to deal with my infectious disease doctor, and I have to work with my lung transplant people. It's all been virtual visits lately, obviously, since before March.
Hey,
we've been just doing them on the phone.
You should have seen the virtual visit where they made him turn his head and cough on that.
Yeah, that was crazy. I got a little bit of electrocution.
That was the nastiest video ever.
Mm-hmm. But, what my infectious disease doctor told me, Chris, she said, and anyway, I'm not going to get into it. Dr. K. But she's like, wear your damn mask, stay as far away from people as you can. Outside, don't go inside anywhere. And if you're outside and you're wearing your mask, she said, you're straight. As long as it's what it is. This is what she told me. It's the amount of time you stand and talk to somebody. Okay, the length of time, which is what makes you susceptible to possibly catching something. But God just passing people, not a chance. She basically has said.
I am not, like I said. I mean, I know where Dempsey's at. I mean, you know that you can't get anywhere near Dempsey's place. He's got signs up on the street corners. Okay, I get it.
We have two people in our shop that have parents who are stage 4.
That's right. So, oh my God,
around.
What? Yeah. You're not playing around at all.
Not at all.
I get it. I guess what gets me is that I understand people like Chris Sellars. It's been my whole life. It's all I've known. I since 14 years old with a guy named Tom Weston in Annandale, Virginia, cleaning toilets and bathrooms. I'm bar backed. I mopped. My first bar shift as a day. I turned 21. I never looked back. But I'm not beyond walking into Chris's kitchen. He knows that. If he needs me to work the dishwasher, I do it. The point I'm trying to make is you have a gentleman on TV that talks not about churches, not about Walmarts or Costco's or any of these large gathering places or any of the protests. But if you walk into a restaurant, you're going to die. That just frustrates me to no end. It's like, where did he pick an industry that's got 60 million people out of work and say, hey, you can't do this or you're going to die. And I guess that's my frustration, because I don't lose sleep over the entire program. I lose sleep over Chris Sellars and Jimmy Cerrito. And
the sad part, Billy, is that, in the beginning of this, there was a lot of frustration on my part and a lot of resentment. I mean, I had people telling me that nobody could step foot in my restaurant. Nobody could, come in and have a beer. But I go into my local Harris Teeter and I've got, 500 people in there shoulder to shoulder. Yeah. And I'm like, we're talking about me being the problem. I'm like, we got a problem somewhere else here, guys. So
yeah.
But I get it. Here's what I've learned. I've learned that most restaurants like yours, Chris, it's called the HEPA system. It's called it's the overall, like Dempsey. I know you guys were upgraded. Dixon upgraded all of those stores because I had a couple fogging contracts in there. We were going to fog the place, which is microbial and killing everything. We've got 37 places we've done. We're pretty proud of the work, and it protects everybody. But all in all, I understand it and I get it. But, once Arizona and Texas went down at those big bars and a bunch of people got ill and a couple people, then it was over. Then it was game on that bars and restaurants were the enemy. And trust me, for a guy that wakes up and gets very little sleep because all I do is market bars and restaurants, I'm dead in the water. So my frustration's been, beyond the pale of things. But my people have been great to me. Everybody that can throw me some bones. Hey, Billy, I need some staff. Let me send you a couple $100. I'll send you some food. You know what? I'm not drowning, but as close as I possibly can. And then the DC Defenders went under and went bankrupt. It was, I get it. I can now understand the picture of that. I know why people jump now. And thank God I had good people. I mean, Chris checking in on me. What's up? What's going on? Hey, what's going on? And I love my family out there. I love them. And I want them to do well. But the people that are surviving are the Chris Sellars, the Tatiana Farrs at Coyote, the Bill Hamrocks, who's there around the clock. You know what? They pivoted. That's the word you're looking for. Just like you did. You pivoted to your living room. Your kids are able to help. I mean, you've got a gift, Dempsey, and so do you, Chris, that you cannot ever get back. So do you, Lee. I'm just discovering my older children again, and they're spending time. But I would give anything to be able to have them here and daily and do things. But I'm envious, and I'm so proud of you guys. And having you guys on tonight's highlight of my month.
All right, let's take a second and let's look at some of the comments that people have put up. Don't worry, Billy. William Bryan says the GOAT.
Hey, he's the GOAT. That guy's the GOAT.
What's up, Willie?
Liquor salesman. Great guy.
Yep.
Pat
he just
Malone.
informed me of another bar that closed today.
Oh,
I heard
that's
about
right.
that. The Eclipse, huh?
Well, hey, if any of them are watching, man, I'll tell you, for those brothers and sisters out there, come down, apply with me at CJ Finz Public House. If you are tuning in tonight, man, I mean, you're not alone, man. We're all in this together. Like you said, Billy, you said it best, man. I mean, it's not beside you to go wash dishes, man. I mean, you do what you got to do to provide for yourself and your family. And
one of the best months I had was when I was starting to drown a little bit. I got a phone call, man. I washed dishes for a month for a client. I washed dishes for $10 an hour, $10 a day, and I made $500 a week. And you know what? That $500 saved my life. I'm not below any of it.
And that's the thing too, speaking with you guys. Thanks,
Lee. Lee, just leave her picture up there.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
But Dempsey, my thing with you is, you had to recreate your business also, just like I did, and you still are, you're cataloging online. I mean, and thank God, I mean, I am so behind the times when it comes to email and Zoom and
I live in an analog world.
Yeah, right. I mean, I'm surprised I don't know better how to do vinyl. It's guys like you and I, Dempsey. It's the niche style businesses. I mean, Red Lobster is still going to be there, or maybe they're not. Sell a DVD or a CD, but the thing is that us, the small niches of old towns, we're going to be the ones that are going to be here. We're here for our communities. We're here to local people. We're here to take care of our own, man. I mean, that's the big thing. Just take care of our communities.
Totally agree.
Dempsey, we know how to take care of Chris. Keep ordering and keep doing the takeouts and stuff.
How do we take care of you?
That's right. What can we do in the public other than going online and doing stuff? What is the experience that can still be out there? Any way to maybe put the record shelves out and lot a little bit? Maybe do a lot day, or how does that look? Or
I don't know. I mean, again, because we are recreating every day and trying to figure out how to do this. I mean, you asked Chris earlier, what do you see? How this transitions in the next year? Right.
Well, every vinyl place around you is closed. Lost the one at Pickett Shopping Center. Lost some other things. Here you are.
Yeah,
There's a reason.
But I can't even look 2 weeks down the road at this point. Okay. I think everything we do is specifically for that week that we're involved with. We have Record Store Day coming up on August 29th. which is our Super Bowl every year in April, but it's been postponed 3 times now.
Wow.
And they've basically taken the bulk of the titles that we get. We have people who sleep outside. There's 200 to 500 people in line when we do that.
It's amazing. Every year.
It's a crazy thing.
Right.
But like they've broken it up over 3 months now, over one Saturday for August,
right,
September, October.
Hey, what do you mean you lost my Pogues album? You better find that album. I'm telling you what.
So, but it's crazy though to think about. Like we don't know what we're about to get into, even though it's something we've done for years now. It's going to be completely different. We don't know if we're going to have to like run the whole thing outside. So, I mean, to answer your question, honestly, I don't know, other than, being supportive in the sense of either coming into the shop or supporting us online. Those are great ways. And once we get our feet up and running again and we can do shows like we did in the past, all of our shows were always charity oriented.
Right.
I mean, we never took a penny. Whatever local charity we could do about guys getting out of jail and getting suits and haircuts, whatever, anything. But those kind of things have been put on hold. And so,
it's those kind of things that keep you front of mind now. And I want to bounce back to Chris real quick, because I want to add on that watching him do his first FaceTime live was the most painful thing I was ever a part of in my life. And he's like this, and he's like, well, wait, I think it is. Okay, I got it. So we're doing a lobster claw.
I'm not a big Facebook person. Like I don't put my personal stuff out there. I put the pictures of the kids and my hot wife out there. But when the COVID happened, man, I had to really So I had to inform my community, man. I had to inform everybody what's going on, and I got so sick. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I got sick and tired of typing, and then I got people comment on the comments like, "Hey, man, it's a wrong."
What has happened? What has happened now, Chris? Though, is what is happening for you is that part that you really didn't like about that you hate about Kevin Ben-Norris and you hate about Billy Reilly or Jimmy Cerrito that are out there daily doing this shit.
I love Jimmy.
You and me too. Jimmy Cerrito, what a legend. Bartender Hall of Famer, state of Virginia.
Yes, he is.
He's a
world record holder too.
He took both of those for me, by the way. That real knucklehead. I sleep on that every night thinking about that. No, I'm kidding. I couldn't be happier. Watching you do that makes it all that more human. Dude, and if you had to pivot a little bit to show your kids running up and down and screaming on the stairs and doing something, nobody loves that more than me. I'm like, I knew he was real, and I knew that this was some cool stuff. And people are watching you change gaskets on the roof. What's he doing? He's changing a gasket. It's on the roof. Oh my God, what's going on with the heater? Oh my God, he's got a heater issue today. I mean, people love that stuff, bro.
Well, like I said,
this is the new normal.
I mean, look at Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy Fallon with his own thing.
Point. So, I mean, I
crazy
the forum where I figured out the Facebook Live button where it was. And if you saw me in my first video, I'm looking for the off button going.
And you know what? Nobody cared.
Yeah, I mean, but it was cool. I mean, some of the reactions, it's kind of cool because it reminds you who is listening. You read the comments and who's still got the love for you, and then you see them coming in and coming in the restaurant a couple of days later, grabbing some shrimp, just saying hi, and they just want to ask you how everything's going, and that's all. It's just how everything's going. Giving some updates on some of my employees, some that got hurt during COVID, some that have left us, But before I do leave today, man, I'll tell you, man, biggest shout out in the world to my wife. I mean, I couldn't have done this with 2 young kids. I mean, I was at my restaurant for 2 months straight, and I mean, she's my hero. I mean,
no question, buddy.
Before we go,
and then my staff too, man. My staff, literally, they worked for me and helped me out and volunteered because we couldn't even pay them, and they volunteered for about 6 to 8 weeks with no pay.
That's awesome.
So, my hat's off to them. They're still with us today, and they're making money hand over fist.
That's a testament. That's a testament, Chris.
My community as well.
Yeah,
well,
right on.
So Dempsey, I want to close on this because I think it's important.
Sure.
You actually have staff members whose folks are ill and their family members are ill from this.
They're not. Oh, no. From COVID?
Yes.
No.
Did I understand that wrong? Okay.
Cancer.
No. I have one of my staff members has their father has stage 4, so we're trying to be
before cancer. Yeah.
Very, very, very cautious on how we operate because she's there all the time.
Right.
Saw that.
Yeah, you have to be. I mean, you can't have. Yeah, that he's obviously, or she is obviously super susceptible.
Yeah.
They've got no immune system whatsoever.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like, I've felt healthy as a horse. And I need to actually drop some weight. And I was going to ask Chris if he did shrimp and grits at his restaurant.
I do.
Okay, I'm coming.
But no, brother. I mean,
when
let
I
us
heard
bring it to
shrimp,
you.
I said, only thing better than shrimp is shrimp and grits. So, in fact, one of my favorite shrimp and grits is at the South Side 815 down in Alexandria. If you've never gone there, it's a great restaurant. It's great American fare, which I'm sure is probably very similar to CJ Finz. And they have, oh my God, it's just good old Southern shrimp and grits.
Yeah,
and
mine's a Nolan style. It's got a little bit of a Cajun kick to it.
Well, I might ask you to make it without the Cajun kick. I'm a very wimpy person when it comes
no,
to
I'm the biggest sissy ever, and I eat it. So
well, I've heard you haven't met the real wimp, so that's all I gotta say. Because I truly am weak.
So, Dempsey, what are your hours right now? Like, what are you guys open?
Yeah.
Well, we're reduced now. We're actually 6 days a week, which is the first time we've ever done that. So we're open Tuesday through Sunday, 12 to 5 at the moment. And I think once we hit September, we'll, if we don't have to go back to a phase 2, I think then we'll start to expand our hours again. We were 8 hours a day every day for 7 days a week.
Yeah.
But right now it's the funny thing, and maybe you can relate to this. I don't know if you've seen this weird surge of time frame difference, but we're so busy now during lunchtime where we typically were more like an evening thing. Like during the day, I got a lot of work done. And then once 3 o'clock hit to 7 o'clock, that was the majority of our business, people getting off of work and coming in, because we're a destination point. We're not we serve our community, but we are a destination point being a record store. So now we see that surge from like 12 to 4 every day. And it's the weirdest thing in the world.
There's so many people working from home right now.
Exactly. It's the strangest thing.
And I don't think that's going to change anytime soon, especially with all these kids not going back to school. So, the one thing I have noticed, so like you said, the noon to 4, my lunch business has, almost doubled.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people walking around, in Old Manassas. They're out walking around. They're like Lee. They're tired of being inside. They don't want to necessarily go inside, but they don't mind window shopping or just getting some exercise and walking down the sidewalks. And but it's busy down here.
It's crazy, man.
How much outdoor do you have, Chris?
Huh?
How much outdoor do you have? Outdoor.
So both restaurants, we have an upper level deck on CJ Finz, which holds. Right now, with all the distancing, 4 tables, and then we have out front, we have 7 tables. So we have 12 tables outside, 6 tables inside. And then Public House over the brewery, we have, I believe, 8 or 9 tables outside, and then we have 4 tables inside. And right now, you're still not allowed to sit at the bar. So, it's unfortunate. But, people still coming up, and they're grabbing their beer, and they're politely going outside and keeping their distance from people. But, we're still 4 hours here, and we're still open 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. Every day of the week, and then we're open at 10 a.m. We open at 10 a.m. on Saturdays and Sundays for brunch. So,
all right.
Crab cake Benedict, man, it's one of our biggest sellers. So, it makes it a reason to come down to Old Town.
Yeah. Well, for me, the only reason is the shrimp and grits. I'm happy to come down there and chow down, man.
Awesome.
Those chain guys who try and do stuff like that, for instance, was it Coastal Flats? It's okay. There's shrimp and grits.
Right.
But it's not shrimp and grits, man. So I can't wait to come down. I'm going to be the shrimp and grits food connoisseur critic for the area. I'm going to go
a segment for your shrimp and grits this week.
Exactly. We'll have to do that once a week. I'm going to hit a place and get their shrimp and grits and give my honest opinion.
I'll say in about 6 weeks, you're going to find yourself in Rockville trying to find somewhere to get shrimp and grits.
Nah, they don't have freaking shrimp and grits up there. Get out of here. They have crab and grits. They don't even have grits in Maryland. It's too north. Yeah. Grits is totally Virginia and south. That's where my family's from. So
one thing I don't do down here is I don't do blue crabs. If you've ever been to my restaurant, it's very small, boutique, probably a lot like your record store, Dempsey.
Yeah.
It's only 1,700 square feet. I mean,
we're 14. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm tiny, and that's how I wanted it. Because, I mean, when Lee came in or Dempsey came in or Billy Reilly came in, I want to be able to come out. I want to be able to talk. I want to be able to chat with you. I want to know. I wanted to be more boutique-like. I didn't need a 10,000 square foot restaurant, nightclub, dance floor, and all this stuff. I wanted I wanted my community. I know that. Yeah, I wanted to provide a level of service to people. So, and that's why we built my brother-in-law. We built the restaurant the size we did.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, and that's the thing, Lee. If you are coming in, definitely I'd be able to take time for you. So,
okay. Well, I'll hit you up and find out where you're at, and then I'll come to eat wherever you are. I'll come in and swing in. Do they have the shrimp and grits at the public house too?
They do. It's a different version, whole different menu style.
It's all right. I understand. I understand. Maybe I might want to come to public house and have the shrimp and grits, huh?
There you go. Go for it.
All right, guys, we got to wrap it up. I don't know what happened to Billy. He bounced out, and he's probably on the phone or something like that. Somebody probably called him. But I want to tell you guys how much I appreciate you.
Thanks for having us.
The best of luck, ladies and gentlemen. CJ Finz, go down to Old Town Manassas and Public House Brewery. Kitchen and Brewery, and pick up some good eats. I'm no doubt in my mind that it's good eats. And Dempsey, I'm coming over there to see what you got in the record shop. I love cruising. Also, I wear my gloves.
Well, we also have curbside pickup. So if you have something you want, just let us know. We'll come bring it out to you.
Who knows? Like I said, I didn't know that I might have to break into Billy's stuff and get those Kiss albums. But yeah. And I'll also drop because I have a radio station. I do 80s and 90s music, and
there you go.
Man, we'll put you on there and make Mobius be one of our guys that people can go to find good music, just like what they hear on MoreJoy Radio.
Right on.
Yeah, cool stuff.
Well, thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Nice to meet you, Chris. Good luck, brother.
Take care, buddy. Stay safe.
All right. Take care, guys. Well, everybody, that's it. We're done with tonight's program. This is MoreJoy Media presents the Food, Beverage, and Events Show. And great having Chris Sellars and great having Dempsey Hamilton on the program. We're so happy that they were on, and we had some good information. I wanted to say thanks and hi to Mike Hertz, Tura Arsala, William Bryan, Steve Day, Pat Malone, and Mike Hertz and all those people who tuned in today and commented. We appreciate you. And we will see you, as Dempsey would say, on the flip side.
Fellow Novanians. Yes, if you're from Northern Virginia, we want you to know that there is now a radio station just for you with all the events, all the information going on in Northern Virginia. We have a radio station that is dedicated to Novanians and all of Nova. It's MoreJoy Radio. MoreJoy Radio. It's your answer to the best music, the most positive, most fun, and most good music, most good, on the air. MoreJoy Radio. We're on the internet. All you have to do is go to morejoyradio.com and you can listen. You can listen to MoreJoy Radio anytime you want. Would you run out of flowers?